Hey guys, Drakos Erastia in the flesh. Um, this is going to be a vlog series. Oh my god. And I'm just going to talk about random shit that may or may not be passionate about. Random topics may or may not be trending. Just going to throw that out there. Anyway, today for the first vlog video, I'm going to talk about something that's actually really close to my heart. Alright, so there's this huge controversy in the gaming community about feminists and sexism within video games. Now, sexism in video games, I just don't see in the video games that I personally play. Yeah, sure, there could be more female characters, but the females that are actually in the games that are not customizable are, in my opinion, pretty badass. I mean, if you look at Tomb Raider, she is a badass, independent, rich woman that goes around the world seeking these treasures that and artifacts in general that just no man was ever able to do or succeed in uh, getting, at least. With, random magic thingies thrown in there. With one of my, and her butler. That was always my favorite thing, to go to her mansion in the first few video games back on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. I would always go to the training area and just like kind of kill the butler. But of course he doesn't die. But that was always my favorite thing to do. But Tomb Raider in general, even with just the comic, she was a very strong woman. And I've noticed that with the new Tomb Raider that just released and the last one that just released, there has been a lot of changes to her character, which kind of bug me because she is a symbol of a strong woman, and I think because of that the devs should have had a backbone and said, no, this is her character, this is the way she looks, and who cares that she has big boobs and a small waist and is in a tank top and shorts. I'm sorry, but if you're in some of the hot desert areas, you're not going to be in a long sleeve t-shirt and pants. It's just not going to happen. You're probably going to end up wearing something similar to the original Tomb Raider. And me being a woman with large breasts, it's kind of nice to see a woman that's not a complete stick figure. She had curves. She wasn't chubby or anything like that, but she had a nice hip, she had nice breasts, and it was nice to see that, yeah, they were like cones because graphics back then weren't, the greatest, but it was something. But anyway, moving on, because that's kind of off topic a little bit, just a random rant right there. Anyway, so feminism in today's video games. Now, the video game I'm playing currently isn't considered a AAA title. It's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and it's not considered a AAA, but it's AAA quality is what people argue, and it's great. It's a great game. There are a lot of glitches. And of the, I want to say 12, but I didn't really count, operators, There's way more than 12. There has to be way more than 12. Anyway, there's not a lot of females. Now, didn't hear any complaints about that from the feminist community because I don't think it was that big of a title. However, I'm sure if they picked it up, they'd be like, oh, there's not a lot of females and all the females are supportive roles. But in reality, all the characters are supportive roles. You can't have one character without needing support from another character. It just doesn't happen. And also, like, it's kind of, shooters in general are male dominated, even in the real world. In the military, the infantry, it wasn't until recently that women were allowed on the infantry, but I'm not, don't quote me on that. I might have my facts wrong, but I do know that women weren't allowed on the front lines until recently. That was in the news, I think a few months ago. Don't quote me on that. So having a SEAL team go in of 5 people and kill insurgents or terrorists, and they're mostly male dominated, that's perfectly fine to me. Being a woman, I'm not upset about that. In fact, I usually only play the male characters in that game. It's rare that I play the female characters, and to be honest, the most OP character in that game is a woman, and it's Frost with her freaking shotgun that can snipe across the room, which they nerfed a little, but in my opinion, not enough. Anyway, let's see, moving on to Call of Duty, which has 3 females. There's Outrider, something else, and something else. I never remember names. It's not something I'm good at. I usually play Ruin anyway, so also not related to anything. I'm just really not good with Outrider's bow, which bows are like my favorite thing in the world. Anyway, so 3 characters are female. 1 is a robot but with a male's body, and the rest are male. 1 is half male, half robot-ish thing. I personally would have loved Firebringer or Breaker, whatever his name is, to have been a female because I'm a pyro, and would have liked that. Anyway, the notion of feminism today is really bothersome, with these women thinking that men have some type of privilege over them. What the hell does that mean? That is something that's thrown around all the time. Now, I understand it for race, specifically white privilege. That is thrown around a lot, but that's been around for a very long time. It's seen everywhere. It is obvious, especially in today's world where every other news story, real news story, not the crappy media news stories, are of a cop shooting someone and then getting away with it that is completely unarmed. And now you see it a lot, and you see in the prisons today, there are a lot more minorities in the prisons than there are white people, even though white people do more of the same crimes, which I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know that white people do a lot of crimes and they're not convicted or even arrested for, unless it's a really bad crime. You see it a lot, and it's really, really annoying. But that is an example of white privilege. That is something that is around that needs to be addressed. However, male privilege, not a thing. It is not a thing. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to be offended of male or female or neither or both ever opening a door for me. It's I get so annoyed seeing women, these feminists, get annoyed at things that are just something that nice people do for other people. Opening doors being one. I want someone to open a door for me. I don't care if you're male or female, or neither, or both. If you see me walking up to the door and you're going in, hold the door for me. It's it's nice. I do it for everyone else. Why can't you do it for me? I really do it for everyone else. Like, I will stand there for like a good 5 minutes waiting for your slow ass to get through that door before I close the door. That is how nice I am. Even though I just called you a slow ass. Anyway, that's something that always bothered me. Right now there's a video. I watched a video today, last night, like 2 in the morning. I haven't slept yet. It's cool. It is noon right now when I'm recording this, but 2 in the morning. I watched a video of a gamer, YouTube video of a gamer commenting on a video that went viral of a feminist woman telling a mailman to stop stalking her. A mailman. I don't know if you women, you feminists specifically, understand what a mailman's job is, but they're there to stop at just about every house on the block and deliver mail. They're not stalking you. They don't even know your name. All they know is that this number matches this mailbox and they gotta deliver it. No way in hell are they stalking you. Another one that I watched, which is a few months old now, a woman got triggered by a bunch of orange caution sticks that were in a parking lot to caution people to be careful because there was snow everywhere. I know it's not common here. I'm in California. There's no snow here. In Southern California specifically. But in snowy areas where it does snow during winter, they will put up some type of caution to be careful of the obvious snow on the ground. The obvious snow that's been piled up on the side of these parking lots. And that just made me laugh. She started pulling it out of the ground, which is actually a crime because she's destroying someone's private property. The store specifically is private property. I didn't see which store. I don't know where she is or anything like that. I don't even know if the store even knows that it was her or anything like that. But she literally started pulling it out and breaking these caution sticks like a child. Like, do you not understand what they're there for? Well, obviously she doesn't understand what it's there for, but it's there to caution people. It is there to caution people to watch their step, to be careful. Anyway, another thing that she said in that video was during the summer she would be at Chili's, outside of Chili's, and people would look at her through the window. Well, if you're standing there like a scary person, crazy person, they're gonna look at you while they're eating. That happens. I do it all the time. If I see someone walking by, I will look at them through the window. It is a natural human reaction to look at movement. It is why a lot of movies, most people aren't even aware of this, but there are red dots in movies that are there to get your eyes to focus on them, and it moves around the screen so that you can see most of the movie, but your eyes are subconsciously looking at that red dot or multiple red dots. And they actually did this really cool screen thing a long time ago where they took they mapped out people's eye motion while watching clips or movies, and they realized that people were watching more of the real part of the movie, the non-CGI part of the movie, than they were the CGI part, which in a lot of movies, especially Marvel movies, there's more CGI than there is real, but people were focusing on the real part of the scenes than they were anything else. Anyway, that random tangent. Where was I going? Okay, so the chilies. So the next thing she mentions, because she mentions chilies, people staring at her glancing at her through the windows, and then people coming outside to have a smoke, and she thinks that they're stalking her because they want to smoke, and then they're coughing at her. Not just coughing because they're a smoker. No, literally coughing at her. What the hell? Why can't people cough? The next clip of this, it was like a series or whatever, was literally a woman walking down the street, a kid with a backpack and everything was walking the other way, and they passed, and he happened to cough as they were passing. She literally turned around, went to him, and was like, "Why are you coughing at me?" What? What? Is coughing the new catcall that I was not aware of? Like, what is this? What is wrong with someone coughing? I have asthma. I cough constantly. You will see it on my in my streams. You probably won't see it in my videos because I'll probably edit those out unless it's in my vlog, because I'm not editing my vlog. You will have to deal with every single little rant I have. But I'm constantly coughing. If anyone I passed on the street turned around and said, "Why are you coughing at me?" I'm gonna be like, "Bitch, please." Like, really? Don't even. Like, that... that is the stupidest shit I have ever heard. Oh my god. How can you cough at someone? Like, okay, so when I was a teenager, the running joke is, when you're making fun of someone, is to literally go cough, cough, insert word, cough, cough. That's coughing at someone. That is literally coughing at someone and actually saying something under their breath. Like, the most common thing was that was the most common thing that you heard as a teenager. Like, in my day and age, like, I'm 25. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that was the thing. I am very sure that is not the thing anymore. Just like randomly putting safety pins through your skin because it's cool is not the thing anymore. I hope. Please don't be doing that. That is really bad. Not safe. You could get really hurt from that. But that's something I did as a teenager. And right all over my arm and everything. Like, to think that offends... Well, obviously the cough slut shaming thing does offend people. But just coughing just coughing offends someone. How fucked up is that? That coughing would offend anyone. We live in a society today that everything offends everyone. I'm sure the color of my lips is going to offend someone. I'm sure the necklace I'm wearing is going to trigger someone. I'm sure everything about this little box that I am in right now is going to offend someone. The fact that it's too pink, which it isn't. I actually made it red, but because of the shade, the lighter areas, it looks too pink, which makes me too girly, is going to offend so many people. And in the gaming community specifically, the thing that offends everyone is the fact that I'm wearing makeup. I'm sorry, but I'm a girl and I'm allowed. And I'm not saying that guys aren't allowed. Obviously, guys are allowed. In ancient Egypt, men and women wore makeup. That's how you appreciated the gods, is you wore makeup to look like the gods of Egypt. Makeup was started literally in Egypt. It is not a gender specific thing that people want you to believe today. Yes, ads make it seem that way, but I mean, come on. Look at metal from the 80s. They're wearing a lot of eyeliner, a lot of makeup. Stage, like, male and female actors wear makeup from when they were just on stage, from William Shakespeare's time to now, in movies and on stage and Broadway and all that. Men and women wear makeup. It's known. It is something that shouldn't be shamed, but it is. And I don't know. This topic is going nowhere. Back to feminism. Back 50 years ago, when women couldn't vote, when women couldn't even have a job because only the men were allowed to, or the fact that women were fired for getting pregnant, that is when feminism was needed. Today, when jobs are standard, like minimum wage is minimum wage, male or female, if you have a minimum wage job, that's what you're getting. Now, for people that are salary managers in a career path, your wage is going to depend on how good you are. It has nothing to do with whether you're male or female. Statistics say, which studies have shown, that male are better negotiators, which is perfectly fine. Men are allowed to be better at something than women. Women are allowed to be better at something than men. I can say a bunch of things that I am better at than some of my friends. They can say a bunch of things that they are better at than me. It's perfectly fine. Use your strengths to your advantage. Seriously. If you're not using your strengths, then what are you doing as a human being? Like, feminism today, in my opinion, can be needed, but it's not directed at the right things. Now, that's not saying that all feminists are stupid or have no intellectual prowess or brains in general. No. It's the vocal minority that is in the media, that is on YouTube saying these crazy things that make all feminists look bad. Just like, I'm a female gamer. I'm a gamer. Doesn't matter if I'm male or female. In fact, most of the time people think I'm a 12-year-old male. Doesn't bother me. I'm a gamer. I play a game. I play many games, really. I have over 120 games that I have played on my Steam alone. Doesn't count my Origin, doesn't count my Uplay, which I only have one game on Uplay, so that doesn't even matter. But it doesn't count the consoles that I've owned, doesn't say how long I've been gaming, what my favorite games are. It just says I'm a gamer, and I just happen to be female. Now, saying I'm a gamer and in this world, in today's day and age, because there are a lot of people getting on that bandwagon of, oh, let me play these games because it is now the cool thing to do. You can make a lot of money playing these games. Why can't you just enjoy it? Why can't you just do something to enjoy it? In my experience, I've been living on this earth for 25 years. I've been playing video games for almost 20 years. 20 of those years. I started on Sega Genesis. I've played on an Atari, but I didn't start with an Atari. Obviously, an Atari is much, much older than me. In fact, video games weren't even the first game that I fell in love with and continue letting me game. The first game that I fell in love with was Dungeons and Dragons 2.0. Not 3.5. No, I started 2.0. I was 12 when I started Dungeons and Dragons. I started gaming at 7. So there was a gap. What is that, 5 years? 5-year gap between when I started gaming and when I actually fell in love with gaming, which is perfectly fine. I was outdoors most of my life. I played sports. I was on tennis team, bowling league, softball league. Fuck, what else was I in? Basketball, soccer. I did a lot of sports. I was a jock. But that didn't mean that I wasn't into other things. I liked Magic the Gathering. I liked Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, because I've mentioned that. And I have not played 5.0, so do not ask me about it. I have not played. I really want to, but things. Things. Anyway, I need to end this. It's been like 30 minutes. I'm sorry. So feminism in video games, just let the devs do what they want. It's that simple. Don't judge the devs over something you don't agree with, because you might not agree with it, but the other people might like it. It is not for you to decide. It is creative freedom. That's the entire point of video games. Creative freedom. It is for people to be creative, the devs, obviously, for creating the game, and the players for playing the game and enjoying it. Stop ruining everything for everyone else just because you don't agree with one itty bitty thing and demand that it needs to be changed. That is the end of my rant and the end of my vlog. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll just continue this rant. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a part 2. Woo! We'll see. Anyway, thanks for listening, tuning in. What's